And from there on, things just started changing very quickly, and I started volunteering for the NHS. I was then recommended, I got a paid position, and started working. And then I started looking for opportunities for sharing mindfulness in a very secular, non-religious way.
We should actually just maybe go back to basics with the two of you. So, just very simply, what is mindfulness?
So mindfulness can be expressed in many different ways. It's almost like having different types of bread.
Okay.
You can have white bread, you can have whole wheat bread, you can have half whole wheat bread, you can have bread with certain seeds, rye bread. So it just depends who you're talking to. Fundamentally, to me personally, mindfulness is about a way of working with your own life. It's finding a way of having less judgment, more skill, and cultivating a sense of awareness. And it's almost like a carpenter working with something that he wants to create. He might want to create a perfect piece of furniture, looking for a perfect piece of wood, but all he could find is cracked pine. And so he works with it, and he examines, he's curious about it. So we become curious about our own mind rather than judging ourselves.
Okay, so for somebody who's watching this now on their computer or television or wherever they're watching it, and they don't know really what being mindful means practically, what would you say to them? They're sitting watching and they're interested in trying out being mindful. So what does that mean? They get up from the computer when they're, hopefully it stays at the end of the programme, and then what do they do that's introducing mindfulness? What are the practical steps?
Well, I see it in a practical way as always bringing your mind back to the present moment. We spend, all of us, an awful lot of time either running past history, past stories in our head, or projecting possible future scenarios.
Okay, so we say it's being aware of what our mind is doing.
Yes, we are not in the present moment.
So once we're aware, then we realise we have a choice of not going into the past,
yes,
or
going into the
possible future, but staying with what we're feeling and thinking now.
Right now.
Yes, okay.
And the point is that you lose your attention when you do that. And that is how 90% of motor accidents occur. That's how people lose their car keys or do the silliest things they sometimes do, is because their mind is not in the present moment. And from that point of view alone, it has immediate benefit. Immediate benefit. And it is a habit. One develops a habit of always, as soon as you become familiar with a particular situation, I'm getting into the car, I'm going to start driving, your mind drifts off.
Automatic pilot.
Yes, and that is where you need to keep watching and say, no, I'm driving, there's a white car in front of me, what's in my rear view mirror, what's in the side mirror, where am I going? And you keep yourself in the moment.
Okay, so that takes quite a commitment for a lot of people, doesn't it?
Yes.
Because we're so used to drifting off.
Yes.
Well, it can be commitment, but it can also be from a place of, if you've suffered enough and you're in the corner, you're going to try and look for things to help yourself. And if the cause and conditions are right, then you'll come across mindfulness. And mindfulness, again, is like I said, different types of bread, because it can be in the form of therapy. In the NHS, we use something called MBCT, or mindfulness-based cognitive therapy. So
then you're understanding what's going on in your mind more. Is that right? You're getting a more of a deeper view, about a deeper overview of how you're working.
Well, with that particular type of mindfulness, it's for people who have anxiety and depression. So you're helping them work with that kind of situation.
Okay.
Then you have mindfulness-based stress reduction, which is for people who have experiencing pain, physical pain, high levels of stress. etc. Then you have something called DBT, or dialectical behavioral therapy, which uses mindfulness in it as well, which is for people with borderline personality disorders. So that's one flavour, a clinical, therapeutic flavour, one type of bread. The other one is mindfulness for personal development. You might not have any kind of emotional, psychological difficulties, but you want to develop your sense of self. You want to expand your sense of self. You want maybe more direction. You want to learn how to be a little bit more calmer in life. That's another type of bread. And then the other one is mindfulness for wisdom. More kind of transpersonal. You really want to expand your sense of self, your sense of compassion, your sense of understanding and wisdom. So different things for different people.
Right,
really.
no, I understand.
And if I can just add in one more, which doesn't have a special name, and it's just a practice I use, I have found in my life and watching other people's lives that emotion causes many problems. Too much good emotion or too much bad emotion. And emotion is an energy. As we know, when we get angry, it compels us sometimes to do things we regret. So the whole point is to manage the energy, and the energy is extremely powerful, and one of the only ways you can disengage from getting sucked into another depressive episode, anger, is to be mindful, is to literally close a door and say, here is a glass of water, here is a table. I am not going to think about the anger that is welling up in me. I am not going to let it. Look how beautiful the flowers are.
So we're shifting attention.
It is keeping that attention.
Because we get preoccupied with our own neuroses.
Yes.
We entertain it. It defines us. And so on one way we want to let it go, but on the other side we want to keep it.
Because also we get payoffs from it.
That's right.
Okay.
So mindfulness is the training of compassionately and kindly acknowledging what's happening internally in terms of your mind and body, and working with that situation in a more skillful way.